Welcome to this part 2 of trade recap video for the date of 15th of September 2025. I forgot to mention something before I ended the recording of the previous video of today, which is why I'm doing a part 2. Normally I just do one video per day, and sometimes if it so happens that I forgot to highlight a couple of important points, I would then create or record a second part. So this is part 2 of today, which is 15th of September. So basically what happened was I had 3 losses, and this was the 4th trade, and this happened just before the beginning of the New York session. It looked really promising, and so I had already marked out a CISD range. So the idea was if it goes below this range, then that would be a clear CISD, breaking away from the bullishness and going into bearishness, hence the term change in state of delivery, in other words, CISD. So that didn't happen. Instead, it continued going up, and then it created another bunch of bullish candles, which was the new CISD, as marked out by this fib level. So the 2 horizontal white lines would be the range of that new CISD. Okay, so this is what happened. There was a nice displacement candle going down, and then 2 candles later it went beyond the CISD range, and so in other words, creating that change in state of delivery towards bearishness. And so in this sort of situation, I would have entered here or here. However, I was away from the monitor, I was away from my screen because I wasn't really expecting to enter. And as fate would have it, a few candles later, I just happened to look at the screen, this particular pair, because it was one of those pairs that I was monitoring since the London session today. And it so happened that price was still hovering around within that desired level of entry. So I entered here, and was it here, or I think it was here, yeah. So I entered here and placed a stop loss just above the BPR, so which was a healthy stop loss margin of 5.6 pips. And of course the first target would be the 50% of the CRT level, yielding a potential profit, yielding a potential risk to reward of 5.66, and then targeting the 75% as well, which would do 7.23 RO. Now, the reason I would have gone for 75%, or I chose to go for 75%, was because if you look at the hour candle time frame, the hour time frame, you would see that it's a very thickish, displacement CRT candle, which is as ideal as it gets. So this is our candle. So there's barely any wick at the bottom. So that would encourage us to also go for a target of 75%. Remember, we rarely go for 100%. It's always either exclusively 50% or half of the trade closing out at 50% and the remaining half at 75%. So in this case, it was the latter. So 50% and then the remaining portion of the trade at 75%. And as you can see, it worked out really nicely. and we entered over here and went all the way down, yielding the desired level of profit for us. And as mentioned in part one, this swooped up all of the losses that we had earlier today and gave us some more, which meant that today was a profitable day. All right, so I shall leave it at that. Until next time, take care and God bless.